Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon to my colleagues, to the Honorable Minister and the support staff, and everyone tuned in. Madam Chair, most of my questions basically might come across a bit repetitive based on the responses that were given. I must say that sitting on the side of the ministers, I know that it is not an easy task. However, I've never seen such quality of responses, even reflecting on my years as a minister, and I know that it would never have been acceptable to the then Parliament. So I'm very disappointed based on that. But Madam Chair, I'll delve right into it. With respect to my question where I asked about the housing project being cancelled, I got a response from the Prime Minister that stated in April of 2024 it was cancelled. I received here in writing from the Minister of Vrumi. I want to clarify that, again, the housing project via the trust fund has been off the table since April 2023. Now, this is in the official report that we receive as members of Parliament. So is it April 2024? Is it April 2023? Because if my memory serves me correct, Madam Chair, it was March of 2023 that myself, then Prime Minister, then Minister of Finance, went to Washington to make sure secure this project. I know that there were some contentions based on the timeline and it being able to be completed at the time, but we left that meeting with a yes. So I just want to get some clarity from the government. When was it? Was it April 23, April 24? And can you please provide me with documentation to substantiate the statements? Because what I'm being told here is go on the World Bank website and you're going to see that the project has been discontinued. That was not my question, Madam Chair Lady. My question was, can I be provided, or can Parliament then be provided with proof and documentation that the project was cancelled? And Madam Chair, I also followed up and I stated, whether it was cancelled or not, let us know how we can assist in seeing this project come to fruition. We have a housing crisis, Madam Chair. It was stated by the Prime Minister, it was stated by the Minister of Vrumi. All of us in here know it. So besides me wanting the facts, because else it would make it seem that me, the Minister of Finance at the time, and the Prime Minister had imaginary dreams in being in Washington and seeing this project being approved, because that was stated as well with Wynia, that this never happened. And I stood up firm and I said it happened because I was there, and it was an idea based on the Wynia's board. So again, I am very concerned in the manner in which communication and messages are being disseminated here in this House of Parliament to the general public, Madam Chair, and I just want clarity. And besides the clarity, so I could repeat it again, I am here committed as a public servant, through you, Madam Chair, to the Honorable Minister, to see it through that this project comes to fruition by the hook or the crook. Based on my request to the Ministry of Justice to allow former uniformed officers to be able to carry their firearm at least for 5 years and then it be evaluated after, I'm glad to know that the ministry is interested in doing this, and I look forward to working with the current minister, the incoming minister, the Committee of Justice to seeing this come to fruition, because, Madam Chair, one of my main concerns still is the fact that we allow people to serve for 30, 40 years, risk their lives, put their life on the line to serve and protect us in whatever capacity, because I know when you hear uniform officers, people automatically only think on police, but I'm talking about custom officers, I'm talking about officers at the prison as well. All of these people form part in immigration. All of these people put their lives on the line every day to protect us in different capacities. And I find it quite unfortunate that after their time is up, you tell them, okay, go home, bye-bye. And they are no longer able to protect themselves with the enemies that they were able to create over the years or whatever have you. So I'm glad to know that it is a nice idea, but besides it being a nice idea, I'm missing the substance as to how we plan to tackle it to see this come to fruition. I move on, Madam Chair, with respect to the land that was issued, reissued, and again today in the presentation, I think this is almost one of the most talked about things in Vrumi with respect to, again, as my colleague Ian mentioned, the government brought up the name Maho, but other things they're saying is confidential. I personally don't believe in calling names, but since it was brought up, I have to continue to speak about it so that the people that are following this meeting are not lost in the discourse. That it was issued and reissued based on a policy that I signed in January of 2024. Madam Chair, the policy that I signed to extend any decrees that were in the process of expiring was simply to allow the ministry time to complete the land issuance policy. Don't play fun and games and live different trick words in terms of trying to confuse the population by saying, yeah, I only signed it because you signed something saying that things are being extended, not those that were expired. It is clear in the registration. Now, I know for a fact that the government is running around and playing monkey in the middle with this, and they know why. Because as I mentioned time and time again, an extra 3,000 square meters was being used illegally. And besides it being used illegally, someone lost their job in the cadastre for misrepresenting the truth by adding extra to the drawing. My follow-up question was then, did the minister do his research and due diligence before giving an answer? The answer from the minister, I didn't sign it, it was Veronica. You know, and I find that quite unfortunate because, again, that minister stood as an acting minister of Vromi to assist the party for progress. And this is how you return the favor, by saying it wasn't me, it was them. However, you're sitting in the seat now, and you have to give account to the people, because it is quite strange that the decree sat there for however amount of time because of the inconsistencies in the documentation. Someone lost their job, and the first thing you do is come and sign it. Say, yes, we make a lot of money on it, but we make a lot of money how? Not all money is good money. Not all money is good money. And maybe there's a hidden message in we make a lot of money in it. But I want to know that the people of St. Martin benefit. So I would like to know, that's a question. Did the people of St. Martin benefit? Because by saying that we make a lot of money, I don't know what kind of money they're talking about, Madam Chair, through you. And my other question was, which notary allowed this deed to be passed, because it can be seen as a new issuance because of the additional land space that was acquired by it? I would like some clarity on that. No answer given in the responses from the minister. Madam Chair, I asked a pretty specific question with respect to how does it work in terms of the advising process from the permits department in this particular case when it talks about a building permit that was signed on May 2nd. Right now, as we speak, Madam Chair, this current government has been in a demissionaire state since May 21st, where the resignation was given in by the Prime Minister. Right now, this is the demissionaire government. Major decisions were made in cross-party lines, cross-ministry lines, I mean to say. All big decisions were made. Yet, I'm being told, yeah, but you signed it on May 2nd and trying to make it sound like something crazy happened. Yes, I was still a minister. I had to continue working. So, Madam Chair, I would like to know through you, can the minister give an account then, right now, what major decisions or how much permits were signed from May 21st until now? And are they legal and or illegal based on the fact that I'm being accused of signing, whether it was a permit, a policy, a hiree on May 2nd? I would like some clarity on that. Because, Madam Chair, as I mentioned, persons that are listening to these meetings create their own understanding by things being spewed on the floor of Parliament as if something wrong is happening here in this country. And I have a problem when the persons that are doing wrong things are insinuating that others did something wrong but not taking account on their end. That just blows my mind. Madam Chair, when I requested clarity on the whole Well Road situation, it wasn't to show up the minister. I just simply asked a question. What is the priority when it comes to Well Road? Based on the fact that I knew that based on the budget that we left behind, it is a side road, and it is included in the CapEx project. But in the haste to answer, or the haste to be, I don't know, if to show up the current members in the minority that sat in the ministerial seat before, the minister said, yes, but the good minister should know that that is a side road and not a main road. I know that. It's clear. It is a side road. You're right. Again, my question remains, is it on the priority list in terms of when it will be done, because it's already on the list of 40 roads that has to be executed, that is already budgeted for, that the tender went out, that the work has already commenced for other roads. Simply clarity on that point. Madam Chair, I remember bringing up the topic of Madam Estate. That's basically like from when you pass the enter by Abu Ghazi Shawarma straight to the zoo and Arch Road, and the deplorable state that that road is in. And we also had that as a priority. That was the first priority road. And I said I understand now, based on the FCCA and all those different things, that the Point Blanche Road took priority. I understand. But now we start on Longwall Road. Now, I'm no minister anymore, so therefore I cannot decide the priority, and I respect that, and I respect the ministry's position. But please explain to me, this is a question, Madam Chair, through you to the Honorable Minister. How severe is Longwall Road, or was, because they graded it already, so it's open, so there's no more discussion where that is concerned. It has to be done. In comparison to that road that I mentioned, Madam Estate, starting from Abu Ghazi Shawarma, go straight back to the zoo and even continue to Arch Road. Because that is maybe not a primary road, but it is a main road that a lot of us use, and it causes a lot of traffic in the morning. So my thing is, I start to think, and I even mentioned